I had never heard of shingles before.
I knew it was shingles, but I didn't want to think it was shingles.
Mostly it felt bad. It hurt.
Nobody I've ever encountered expects to get it, and they didn't realize they were vulnerable.
Welcome to Spotlight on Shingles. You know, making informed decisions about your health starts with having the facts. And here are a few important facts about shingles. Up to half of the estimated 1 million shingles cases in the U.S. each year occur in people 60 and older. 1 out of 2 people who live to age 85 will have had shingles. We're here to be a source of information on shingles and its potential complications. At Spotlight on Shingles, we have the opportunity to hear the stories of people who have experienced shingles firsthand. Now we'd like to share some of those stories with you.
I was working on renovating my house and using a paint remover that was quite caustic. So when I first started experiencing a burning pain up in the upper right quadrant of my stomach, it felt like I had burned myself. It didn't surprise me because I was working with this material.
As I was driving back from Massachusetts, I noticed a beginning of a tingling, I would describe it as a painful itch throughout my back. About a day later, it erupted into a rash, and it was several days after that I actually finally decided to go to the doctor.
I went to the doctor and showed him the 2 little blisters that I had on my side, and I explained to him that the area around that really did hurt. It hurt enough that I couldn't put clothing on. I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't be out in the air sometimes. Even the breeze hurt.
Well, the doctor diagnosed it immediately as shingles. He described it as a teardrop on a rose petal because there was a little bit of a blister on the red rash. And when he mentioned shingles, I was really taken aback, because I hadn't heard about shingles, didn't know what it was.
I really didn't know anything about shingles whatsoever, and I certainly didn't know that it was likely to hit me.
Jill and Dave aren't alone. In fact, a national survey of more than 1,000 older people found that many older adults who reported not having had shingles were unaware of their risk for the disease. So what puts you at risk? Well, take a look at these. Look familiar? If you've had chickenpox, and more than 90% of adults in America have, you're at risk for shingles. Shingles is caused by the same virus that caused chickenpox. When someone has chickenpox, the virus can live but remain inactive in certain nerve roots within your body for many years. If it becomes active again, usually later in life, it can cause shingles. Risk for shingles increases as one gets older. But what does shingles feel like? Well, as you're about to hear, shingles symptoms and their severity can vary from person to person.
The first week with the shingles was very, very unpleasant and uncomfortable. And the second week was still uncomfortable, but less intense. And by the 3rd and 4th weeks, it was there, but wasn't really on my mind. I just went on with the normal activities of my daily life, and that helped keep my mind off of what was happening.
It lasted about 6 weeks of real discomfort, and then another maybe 6 weeks of minor discomfort before it was fully gone.
It not only hurts to have on clothes, it hurts to take a shower. Air hurts.
On occasion, the pain becomes very intense. It's a sharp pain that just hits you to the point where it makes your whole body jump.
You may not be able to see the first signs of shingles, but you often might feel them. These may include itching, tingling, or burning. A few days later, a rash of fluid-filled blisters appears, usually on one side of the body or face. The shingles rash can be painful, and the blisters might take 2 to 4 weeks to heal. For most people, pain from shingles rash lessens as it heals. But for some people, shingles can cause long-term nerve pain that can last for months or even years. This is called post-herpetic neuralgia, or PHN. The older you get, the more you're at risk for long-term nerve pain. Other serious problems that may result from shingles include skin infection, muscle weakness, scarring, and decrease or loss of vision or hearing. So if you've had chickenpox, what else do you need to know?
That this could happen to you, and please try to be alert to it, and if you get any symptoms, to go to your doctor right away.
I knew right away that it was the shingles, and I called my internist, and even though it was a Saturday, he agreed to come into his office, and he saw me and confirmed that it was the shingles, and he gave me some medication, which I started immediately.
I'm hoping that people will learn more about shingles. If they have some of the symptoms of shingles, that they will go to the doctor as soon as possible.
As these folks have learned, it's important to seek medical attention immediately if you think you may have shingles. Your doctor can prescribe medications which should be started as soon as possible.
I've talked about shingles with a lot of people, primarily because it was such a big part of my life for a couple of months.
I had never heard of shingles before, but since having it, I have talked to a lot of people, and they say, oh, I've had it before, and then they say, I know so-and-so has it right now.
I think it's important to talk about your shingles experience because since others of my age are susceptible to it, and if they haven't had it, they should be aware of it.
So this is a reality. It's all of us out there. It's anybody that has had chickenpox can have it.
If you're age 60 or older, you should talk to your doctor about your risk for shingles. It's also important to share information with older friends and family members. Visit www.spotlightонshingles.com for more information. You can also order a free copy of the Spotlight on Shingles, Know What You Can Do disease education brochure by calling toll-free 1-877-RISK-4-SHINGLES.